Hi there, welcome to Continental Drift Knits. It's episode 7, I think that's according to my notes, and it's Thursday, February 22nd, 3rd, I don't know, somewhere around there, end of that week, and I'm coming to you from Queenstown in New Zealand. We're back in New Zealand, so I think it's 2 months at least since I podcast, and it's just been huge. It's been a massive couple of months. So we were back in Australia for November, December, January, and we're back in New Zealand at the beginning of Feb, and we've been here for 3 weeks, and hubby's in Japan at the moment on a ski trip with our son and a few friends that has been long planned. So I'm home alone. Don't really know what to do with myself, but yeah, welcome. So let's get stuck in. I think what I might do is I'm thinking of doing a sort of a vloggy episode, a home alone type episode, all the things I've been doing this week. So I won't focus too much on that today, but I will talk a little bit about my finished objects. I've got a few, I've got about 6, and what I'm knitting and what I'm going to do in the future. So let's have a go at doing this thing again. I'm so anxious. I was messaging Ruth from Ruth Loves to Knit, or Ruth Loves to Knit podcast, and just saying to her, I don't think I was anxious at all before the age of 45, and I'm 50. What am I? 56 now. And I get so anxious about things, and I procrastinate, and I do all sorts of things. So I'll just try and just go with the flow. So apologies if it's pretty rusty, but that's okay. So the first thing I wanted to show you was something I'd been keeping a secret because it hadn't been released. Oh, actually, no, the first thing I'll show you is this. So this is a Cumulus Tee by PetiteKnit. It's in Knitting for Olive. It's their silk. Actually not sure what it's. I'll put the links down below, and I might try and put it up here what it's in. It's because I finished it a couple of months ago, so I'm not 100% sure. I wear it a lot. I'll pop a little vignette in here with it on me, and I really enjoy it. I would definitely knit it again. So it's very comfortable to wear. It's very loose, but reasonably flattering. And I don't often wear a v-neck, so for me, I think Inga, she's a lot younger than I am, about half my age. She didn't put her I-cord edging on and left it a little bit more open. For me, it pulled it up just enough for the right level of V. So very, very lovely to wear. And yeah, I'd certainly knit another one. I don't think I would have any trouble doing that. It's an I-cord binding edge, and I think I've got one end I still need to tuck in. So that's the first thing, powering along. The second thing was one that everything's to the side of me here, sitting in the corner of my living room in New Zealand, is my, oh, it's a bit crunched up, isn't it? Is my Elton jumper. And this, I was so excited to test knit for Joji. It's Joji Locatelli's new pattern called the Elton Sweater. I had previously knit an Elton cardigan, and in fact I've worn it so hard that I've worn a hole in my sleeve. But it was So this is done in Kalinka linen that I got from Wild and Woolly, and also Travelknitters. She's a hand dyer in the UK, an Australian hand dyer living in the UK, and so this is her Tanami lace. So this is a yak silk or camel silk lace weight yarn, and I had one skein. So I did my cardigan, and which is just down beside me, but I don't think I'll show you because it looks exactly the same as this. If I went like this and I went like that, you'd see both items. So I've knit them in. I just went and bought some more Kalinka linen, and I knit this, and I knitted out of the Tanami again. Now, two things. One is I didn't quite have enough of the lace weight, and I wasn't prepared to buy another whole hand-dyed lace weight. So what I did was I just striped out the, just faded out the stripes, and I faded out the stripes. It was a bit of a fiddle, so I had to really manage where the stripes were and how many grams of the lace were being used up in each stripe, and I did that on my Ravelry, and I'm actually pretty proud of that. It's pretty good, pretty amazing. So I'm holding that at the top of the neck, so I'm pretty pleased with that. But I love it. I just love it. I love wearing the cardigan. This is a summer, so it's summer here in New Zealand and has been in Australia. And sorry, I've got ear pods on. And I often need just something light, just a summer cardigan or a summer jumper to put on in the evenings, or if it's a little bit cool in the morning. And I love this. So the other thing I was going to say about this was it's not nice, not super, well, depending who you are. For me, I didn't enjoy knitting the linen. I had already knit the linen once, so I knew what I was going to get, and I decided in the end I'd just do it again, because the linen goes silky soft, silky smooth, and you just can't, I can't tell you how amazingly light and soft this is. Sorry. Up. I hope you haven't lost me. Ooh. I gotta get better at that. So I just carried the yarn up at the outside on the centre sleeve, and also I think I carried it up on the inside there. I don't know oh, that's an end I haven't cut off. But yeah, so the Elton jumper, the pattern is for fingering weight and mohair, but this is a great summer alternative. So linen and lace, it's the same principle. So I might try and put me wearing it here, if you like, or pictures of me in it. Actually, I'll put another picture up, a picture of my mum in it. Now, my mum is a lot smaller, so the positive ease on me is a bit smaller than the positive ease of the pattern, but it's all in my Ravelry page. But on mum, it's far more what the positive ease for the pattern should be. So my mum's a lot shorter and a lot smaller than me, but she really liked it. I think she would have taken it off me. I haven't offered. So yeah, so that's my Elton jumper. Really happy with that. Really, really happy with that. Okay, I'm going to have a sip. I'm going to do the traditional thing. This is my new panda mug. And it's just bog standard black tea, Okay, the next one, and actually I'm going to get a coat hanger for this one. A coat hanger. I was prepared, sort of. Oh. So as I said, it's summer here in New Zealand and has been in Australia. And I knit the the Soho tank. I can't remember. It'll be here, whatever it is. By Caidree. Now I'm second guessing, but it is. No, it is. It is. And I did that in 8-ply Bendigo Woollen Mills cotton in the Parchment colourway. And I love wearing this. It's really comfortable to wear. I love the detailing. So there's lots of detailing. The only downside is it's garter in the round, so you actually purl every second row, which is a bit of a pain. And I did the I-cord edging on the bottom, and I did an I-cord edging right around. So I'll pop what it looks like on me. There. I was really happy with it. Very, very happy with it. So there you go. So that's another one done. They're all looking a bit crumpled. They've been sitting on my couch. I've been procrastinating. I've been going to do this for 4 days, and so they've all been sitting here waiting, and I'm like so nervous. I still feel sick. It hasn't quite disappeared. But anyway, that's okay. So I really, one of the things that I've done back in Australia is got all my yarn out, and I've got it all in a space I can see it. And there's a lot. So in line with Leanne from the Nitty Stew, who has a hashtag busting my balls 23, and in line with Ruth, who has You Feel Free in 23. I am aiming to just be no yarn ban, no not buying yarn, but recognising what I've got, and also shop the stash first. So if I see a pattern and I think, oh, that's really nice, have I got something in my stash that will work for that? And do I really need it, or do I really want it? And you know, where would it fill a gap in whoever's wardrobe I'm knitting it for? So I got on the bandwagon. This yarn is Jo Sharp DK Tweed, I think. Silk Aran, Silk Tweed. I'll pop it down here. It must be 15 years old in stash. It's blowing out, but it's got all sorts of colours in there. But that's far more what it looks like. It's a real brown. So what I did was I thought I had enough yarn. I weighed it and I knit it, and I didn't have enough. And I think you might have seen that on my Instagram. I'm Continental Drift Knits. Ravelry, I'm CDK Podcast. Can't think of. I have a Gmail address, but everything's down below as well. So I'm really looking forward to wearing this. It's going to be super yummy, super warm. I'm not a big shawls person, so I'm more of a like wrap it up tight type person. So I figure it's summer here, but I sort of figure too that it will be perfect on those days where I just am cold. we saw our first snow today on the hills up behind us, and yeah, it's going to be warmer next week, but you just feel the change happening. So that's the Sophie shawl by PetiteKnit, and essentially I put an allowance of about 20 or 10-15 grams, took that off the weight I had, and then divided in half, and I did my increases until that halfway, and then I had enough and only had a small amount left over. So the eye cord looks really plump on that. Looks really lovely. So I was really, really happy with that. I'm really happy that I was able to use a very loved stash yarn. It's very soft, very warm, and it will get a lot of wear. So yeah. All right, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got one more, I think. 2 more. So the next thing I did back before Christmas was a stash busting exercise. So what did I do? I had 4 or 5 yarns. I can't really remember. It was 4 or 5 yarns and a blinky big crochet hook, and it nearly killed my hands, but I could do them off and on. And basically you would just replace one strand as you finished another strand or as you wanted to. And it's brilliant in terms of my as a yarn bucket. So it sits beside me here, and I love it. So that was my scrap bucket, inspired by skeindeer, Ellie from skeindeer Knits. She has pattern, and I think I've linked it on Ravelry as well, and I'll link it down below in my Ravelry. So if you click the link through to my Ravelry project, that Ravelry project will take you to all the details for the pattern and the yarn. Although that's just scrap yarn. That was literally acrylic leftovers from blankets that I've done. All right, one more FO, and this one was what I call an obsessive knit. So this one I knit in 10 or 11 days, 10 days. It was mad. It was silly, really, but I was very obsessed. So I think some of you may have seen that last year when I first got here, I bought some yarn from Sheepish Designs from Isabel, and this is called Choco Delight, and you can see there are all sorts of colours in it. So I bought 1,000 meters. I haven't weighed this. I finished it yesterday. I haven't blocked it. I haven't sewn the ends in, and this is my new. I haven't even taken the bulb pins out yet. So this is my new jumper. It's a Lento. That's Lento. So Creya Bayer and Amy Palco are running an MCAL. And it'll also get entered into the Grocery Girls Raglan along 23, GG Raglan along 23. So let's put it on. So we had a bit of a disaster early on. I'd done the raglan increases. My gauge was out, and I'd done more raglan increases than originally the pattern required, and I had a situation where this was just huge. It was just bulking out massively, and so I ripped it all back, took it back a couple of raglan increases, and then I went back did under the arms. So I've gone for quite a long arm. Essentially here in Queenstown in New Zealand, it's a ski town, and it gets cold and it stays cold for months on end, and we're going to have lots of visitors this year coming to see us, and so we'll be here a lot of most of the winter. And I really wanted a warm, thick jumper. So this jumper is knit on a 5.5mm needle, and Isabel was a bit worried, but I am a loose knitter, and she recommends a 6.5mm needle for this yarn. But as I showed her, and I said, look, it is firm, it is dense, but it's still very malleable, and I think for the purpose as an outdoor jumper that I'm going to wear almost in the snow, it's going to be brilliant. So for going walking or just being out and about on a really cold, miserable day, it's going to be ideal. So I'll take some footage and pop it there, and you'll be able to see. So it's a Lento by Jonna. Hietala, I'm not 100%, one half of liner. And basically the yarn is all handspun, largely Romney. Isabel said she largely handspins Romney and Corridor, I think. And she had a box that she got of all these felt tops, all these little coloured tops. So she just incorporated them into the yarn as she spun it. There's teal and reds and yellows and oranges and pinks. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But I am about to expire. So even there, that's blowing out. It's not grey, it's brown. It's that colour brown. That's a really good one. So I'm going to expire though today. It's not. Whew. Oh wow, look at that side. That's pretty cool too. There you go. Try not to lose the headphones. Yeah, amazing. I did a folded neck and just one by one ribbing right down, and it's just slightly less positive ease than I would like, but I haven't blocked it yet, so I might try and block it out a little bit wider. So I made it quite long, because when you block something wider, knit stitches lift. So it's hefty. It's a good one. I'm very, very happy with that. So that's my 6 FOs. Crazy. And so that was a bit of a frenzied knit. So I haven't been doing too much apart from that for the last 10 days. I did need a couple of small things to cart around with me, because I couldn't eventually take that with me. And just one thing you might be interested in, I mark every decrease so that I can copy, because I did more decreases on the sleeves than the pattern suggested. So I did one, then I could count the decreases and do the other one. And then the way I knit this was I knit the yoke to here, joined the sleeves, finished the ball I was on, so I was about down to here. Then knit the body till I'd run out of that ball. Then I knit the sleeves, okay. And then what I do is I pull the sleeves in so they're not daggy, they're not flapping around. I pull the sleeves in like that, and I work on the body like that. So round and round and round and round and round and round and round. So my sleeves aren't whapping around, but I also know how much yarn I've got. I'm not playing yarn chicken. I've got the sleeves I like before I do the body, and I'm never on Sleeve Island. So that's my process in a top-down jumper when I knit. All right. So the other thing that Daryl went away, I'm not sure how long ago he went. Daryl went away on Friday last week. So he's been gone a week tomorrow. And so my project, like there are projects everywhere in this house, all over this room, even upstairs in the bedroom, on the side table, all sorts of things that I haven't had to clean up. So what I did was I actually finished, I've been doing the Bears rainbow blanket, and you would have seen me doing that over the last few months. So I've just basically been doing all the borders. I finished the centers about a month ago. So this is in Moya cotton, and I had a sample pack, a little baby sample pack. Now I'll pop a picture up here. And over the last 3 or 4 days, I have been nearly poking holes in my fingers, sewing in all the ends. So there was a minimum of 4 ends every square. Some of them there were 6. So I've now done that, and tonight I'm going to lay them all out and start to join them. Although what I have just noticed, which is interesting, and I wonder whether you can see it, there is a difference in dye lot on some of the borders. So I hope that's not going to impact, because some of them are looking creamier than the others. So I'm hoping that'll be all right. So that's another project I've been working on, the Bears rainbow blanket. Yesterday, oh no, I'm going to, so when I was back in Australia, I've put some yarn down somewhere. Not sure where it is. When I was back in Australia, I decided I would start I'm losing stitches. A half and half wrap, because who hasn't? I mean, if I'm going to do a Sophie shawl and I'm going to do a Lento, I may as well do a half and half wrap. So I'm now, I don't know where I'm up to. I'm halfway through a row, but basically all of that bit past the bulb pin is triangulated, and I've got this much left to go back and forwards on till I get my triangle. And then I think I was between the smaller and the larger size, and I'm knitting this. Oh, hang on, here we go. This is what this is in. Pure silk, deep petroleum blue. There you go, knitting for Olive, 100% silk, 250 meters per 50 grams. Very nice. Okay, but this is my half and half wrap, and this is in Bendigo Woollen Mills 4-ply luxury. Their luxury base, and I think it's stone or koala. I'd have to find out. I have to figure that out. I have cast on a provisional cast on, and I will be doing a little I-cord edge, because I've done an I-cord edge along the side, and I thought, well, how can I get an I-cord edge on the bottom as well? So what I did was, this is not in the pattern, I did a provisional cast on and I'll cast off using the stone, and I might have to do that soon because I don't know how much yarn I've got. So I have a plan though. When I think I will run out of yarn, so I'm going to managed to get this, excuse my tracksuit pants underneath. Okay, so this is the other half. This is the other side of the triangle in the slate, 4-ply luxury slate. But I could have a centre triangle that if I don't have enough of this, there's the same amount of this. This is how the balls are, the 200 gram balls. And if I don't have enough of this one, I'm not going to have enough of this one. So what I've done is I've got a Zorba ball that goes well with both, and I'm going to do the center triangle. So if I do run out of yarn, I'll do whatever that wedge is. So say I have 10 stitches left before the end of my triangle, I'll just do those 10 rows, and then I'll do the first 10 rows of the next half with the Zorba ball, and then it won't matter if I've got 20 rows, 10 rows, 50 rows left. It won't matter. I won't go through all three. So it was a way of using up all of these two, and I'll use up as much of this one as I possibly can. And that is number 1153, Sternschnupper, Party 128414. Farb is colour, isn't it? 2292. Zorba Ball Crazy by Shopwell. So I'm going to do both of those. I haven't got back to that. I've sort of put that down at the minute, but that'll be great travel knitting, and that one will come with me. It's in my Wild and Woolly bag from New Amsterdam, for Oh Wow Amsterdam, not New Amsterdam, that's a TV show. So that's my half and half wrap. Okay, the next thing I wanted to show you was something I cast on yesterday. Cast-on-itis. It's an Oslo Mohair hat, and I actually don't know whether I'm going to have enough yarn, but I sort of figure I'll just knit till it runs out, and then I'll get some more in London. We're going to London in March, so I'll get some more then. So that's in the clover green colour. It's the Knitting for Olive merino, so it's fingering weight merino, and the Knitting for Olive kid silk mohair. That's so nice to knit, and it will be such a nice hat to wear here. I'm really looking forward to that. So that's for me. All right, we're fair churning through these at the minute, aren't we? I've got another 3 items I wanted to show you. I like the fact Jonna from Finnish Knitting Stories doesn't count blankets as whips, and I'm pretty much in the same boat. I have a number of blankets going, and for example, the one I'm about to show you I've done incorrectly, but actually I'm very happy with it, so I'm not changing how I'm doing it now. It will probably just go into hibernation for a while I'm away. So we're going away in March. We go back to Australia for 8 days, and then we fly to Europe. Now we've got to go back for work, and we'll be in Europe for, I think it's about 6 or 8 weeks. I can't remember about that, and then we're in the Philippines for a week, and then we're back in Australia for about 2 weeks, and then we're back here for good for a long time, thank goodness. So I can't take this with me, it's too big, so it will go away in March, and I won't see it again till June. So it's a bit odd working on things you know won't get finished. I don't know how I feel about it. I sort of, you lose a bit of mojo, but then I really enjoy just pulling this out and doing a couple of rows on it. So this is the Bits and Bobs blanket, but I'm a numpty. I got the idea from Jonna from Finished Knitting Stories, and I was really excited, and I cast on. I had now again, this is deep stash. So this is Rowan Fine Tweed, discontinued, can't get it anymore. It's a fingering weight, very lightweight, lightly spun tweed. You can see it's got lots of pops of colour. And I'm holding it together with the Luxury again from Bendigo. Bendigo woolen mills, ships all over the world. 200 gram balls, and I think in Australian dollars they're about $16, something like that. Really worthwhile fund wise. And I knit all my family shawls in this particular yarn. So I always have 3 or 4 balls of this in my stash. So anyway, I'm like, yeah, this is great. And when I was looking at yarn, I'm thinking, mine's not that like squishy and floofy. And I'm like, it's a bit weird, you know. It's supposed to be like a half brioche or a fisherman's rib type, where you knit the stitch underneath to get the ribby look. Well, what I figured out was I'm doing it wrong. And I've only just figured that out today. So you're supposed to do the pattern on both sides. But no, I do the pattern on one side and then I knit. I just knit that side. So I've got this wonderful texture this side, but it's very flat. It's not got that springy, ribby look. And I now know why. But I really don't. I mean, it's fine. I don't mind. So it's a rainbow. It's a rainbow effect. So basically I have, this is the second last colour that I have. I've got another sort of plum colour. And then I'm going to do a couple of dark grey, and then I'm going to reverse the order. So basically I do all that again. And I hope it's going to be big enough. Sort of be, you know, that big. Certainly big enough for one person. I don't think I'll edge it or do anything different. Just wash it. Yeah, love it though. I really enjoy it. I do make the odd mistake. So I've missed that, but I'll probably just tack that in with a bit of invisible thread. And one thing that is making this so much easier is I saw on Instagram from Twice Sheared Sheep. She has quite a few, they have quite a few different knit products and knit notions. And one of her notions was to use a cable, a jumper sort of cable tie. You know, you get them on hoodies and tracksuit pants and that sort of thing. And basically I went to the local haberdashery and I bought one, and I put my knitting needle into it like that. And now what I do is when I want to scooch up my stitches, I put that down there. And now it doesn't matter how high I hold this one up, they don't drop down. How good is that? And I can knit. I love it. So this is my Bits and Bobs blanket in Rowan Fine Tweed. I think it's Fine Tweed. It's on my Ravelry page. And I probably should have done an edging so that it didn't roll in, but I didn't. The stash, I would think, would be 8 to 10 years old. I bought it originally to make a really Missoni style wrap and never made it. So I thought, what can I use it for? And I really, really love it. So that's my bits and bobs blanket. All right. We're nearly at the end, although I have two. So the same day I cast on the big thick jumper, the Handspun, I also cast on a cardigan. I know this has been a secret one. I've not even confessed to this one at all. Oh, what cardigan is it? It's a PetiteKnit one. Oh, excuse me. It's a Stockholm cardigan. And again, I missed the odd stitch. I just dropped, so I'll have to pin that one down. So I'm almost up to splitting for sleeves. It's just a raglan. You can't really see. It's a raglan, and I'll split for sleeves in about another 4 or 5 rows. Might be a bit longer. I'll try it on. What I'll do is I'll stick it onto cords. I bought from Unwind and Knit With Me, Lisa, in Christchurch. I got a lovely little gift from her. Where are we? Actually, I don't know where that is. Oh, it's over there. But I bought from her the silicone cords, some stitch holders, only because I found I was running out. And I think what happens is to use my needles, I put my garments onto these stitch cords. And so consequently I've got normal stitch cords when I want to try on, when I want to try something on. So these are really good if you want to try stuff on. So I'll put that onto stitch cords and try it on before I split for sleeves. But basically I'm using my Holst yarn fingering weight I got in a sale early last year. It's in Prussian, 100% wool, super soft, whole super soft, and that's a kid silk mohair from Drops. And you can see, I always find if you're ever wondering what effect the mohair will have, I find the mohair has a much bigger effect on the colour than the yarn you're holding it with. So you can see it's a lot closer. Probably in real life it's a little bit, that's the knitted fabric's a little bit dark, looks a little bit darker. But I wasn't as keen on this when I got it. It reads bluer on the screen than it is in real life. In real life it's coming up very purple. You can't see, you sort of can see it there. It's coming up really purple, not super blue. And I thought, I'm definitely not a purple person. But actually, when I've popped it together with the kid silk, perfect, absolutely perfect. I'm not doing any colour work on this one, so it won't disappear like my last one. Just a warning: Holst super soft can bleed like crazy, and often has a lot of spinning oils. So just be warned. All right, there is one other whip. So on my Instagram you might have seen that I have a series of skeins of hand-dyed yarn, and it's one of those, you know, it's a classic story, has to be perfect, paid a lot of money for it, worked towards doing a fade, really excited about it, have to get the right pattern. Okay, I did a lot of work. I thought, right, I'm going to knit this thing. It's crazy. I've got all this money tied up in hanks of yarn sitting in my stash. This is the year it gets knit. So I went gangbusters for a couple of weeks. And if you've seen my Instagram, you'll have seen my Naima or Nima pullover. Naima DK pullover. And I'll pop who knit it or who designed it there. So I have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of yarn. The yarn management on this is ridiculous. And we go lighter. Okay, so I have to get my head around it again too, because I've like just thrown it in the naughty corner about 3 weeks ago. Oops. All right. So it's going really well. This is where half my barber cords are. I was going really well, and I was weighing out my yarn so that I made sure that I had enough left for the sleeves, so it could go into the sleeves and I wasn't going to run out of yarn. And see, we have clipped yarn so it doesn't fall down and the little balls don't fall down. And anyway, the Naima pullover is really lovely. And it has these eyelets right down it. But Houston, we have a problem. I haven't looked at this for a few weeks. Which one's it? I think that's the front. So, my friends, we were going so well until I pulled. Not good. Not good. So I'm trying to figure out, so it's a classic fade where you hold 2 strands of one yarn, then you replace one strand, you have one strand of the old, one strand of the new, do another segment, do another segment with the 2 strands of the new, introduce a new yarn, you yarn C plus B, then 2 of C, then C plus D. Okay, so you're gradually introducing your new yarn. And I'm not too stressed about the darkness that's splashing in, because ultimately I end up this dark. So that's fine. The biggest issue I've got is that when I got to not sure where it was, but it was one point, I've probably got it marked somewhere, but basically this section here is all one color. So it's the 2 strands popped together. Now I've tried to separate them out. I've like not cut bits, but I've looped bits together and to try and jog the I've done it a few times actually. I've tried to jog the change so that it's not pulling and so that it's not marrying together, because actually it's fine. Something like this is fine, but once we get into this sort of thing, it's not fine. So I'm not sure what to do. So I'm thinking at this stage, so this is the offending colourway. I think it's spun right round. I think what I'm going to do is pull it back, and then I'm going to wind this into 2 balls. And the sleeves aren't doing the same. The sleeves are not pulling the same. They're all pretty random. So they're working, the sleeves have worked okay. I mean, it's a little bit, but it's not visible when you put it on. And I think I'm going to have to address this soon. But boy, it's doing my head in. And I really want the jumper. And my menopausal brain just can't deal with it. So I'm going to have to, but I'm going to have to, this is the very first time I've opened this in, look at the mess on my lap. That's it. What a nightmare. So I'm going to throw it all back in there now. And now that I'm over my friends in it, and I've just got the Oslo Sweater jumper cardigan going, I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to lay it all out and pull back that section and start to think about how I can possibly do it so that it works. There's hundreds of dollars worth of yarn in there and I am not wasting it. I think it will be a really lovely piece and a really unique piece and a really me piece, but I think now I've decided I'm not really a speckled yarn person. I think it's okay to say that. I'm not really a speckled yarn person. In its place, it's amazing. And I am tempted, actually, to do some muscle burrow hats and different things like that, like Nitty Natty does, but not sure it's an all-over piece, which is making me worried that actually I shouldn't pursue it at all. So if you've got a viewpoint, I'd really love to know, because I really don't know what to do. It's a lot of yarn and it was a lot of money. I don't know. Anyway, that's my Naima pullover, my Naima DK. Naima. Yeah. I just don't know how much wear I'll get out of it. Don't know. This is riveting viewing, watching you think, isn't it? Unwind with me, unwind with Lisa. Unwind and knit with Lisa, I think. Unwind and knit with me. Sorry, Lisa. I also bought that Kitchener. So little Kitchener instructions for my, and I'm going to put it on my knitter bag. So I should do that. I meant to do that before. So yeah, I think that was my frenzy. Let me check my notes and see what I should write down. So maybe what I should do is just do a whole lot of muscle burrow hats or something out of that. Don't know. Really perplexed, actually. Okay, Miles shirt jacket. I haven't finished it. I'm almost finished it. I will try and finish it this week and show you next week. Naima fade, half and half, bears rainbow blanket, bits and bobs, Oslo Mohair hat, Copenhagen cardigan. So the only other thing I needed to talk to you about was travel knitting. So we're about to go away for 2 months. I don't really want to take lots of big things, and I do plan on doing a little bit of shopping. I'm hoping to get some more Manchalope. I'm hoping to get some, I'll tell you what I want the Manchalope for. Oh my God, so nice. I want to get some Manchalope for this pattern. Jessica McDonald has released the Winter Woods So I think I'll have enough of my Mantelope to do the colour work, and I'll just get the wheels to do the jumper. I'm very excited about that. I want to do some more hats. I would like to do some DK socks. I would really, really love at one point, and I just don't know though when. I really, really have always wanted to do the OR hoodie. So that is a bit of a goal by Kate Davies. What else? There was a few other things that I really would like to do, but having said that, I also know that I sort of do think you do get to a point in your wardrobe where you go, actually, I've got enough. I'm probably 1 or 2 jumpers short and 1 or 2 cardigans short, but I'm like, well, what am I going to do then? I'm going to have to knit for other people. And I hate doing that because I'm always worried it's never going to fit them. So there'll be more blankets. I'm going to try some socks. I would really like to do Inga from Knitting Traditions Morse Hell socks. So I would love to do another one of these. I think this was really comfortable, and I'd love to do, one of my aims is to do a spot sweater. I really want to do a spot sweater, but the spot sweater will have to be done either while I'm in Melbourne, or I'll have to take all of my yarns, because there's going to be like about 20 or 30 yarns in that spot sweater, and I'm going to have to take them all with me back here. So that will not even be thought about before May. So I'm just trying to figure out what I should take with me, whether I should take a cardigan like the what one am I doing? Oh gosh, it's a PetiteKnit one. Oh, there it is. The Copenhagen cardigan, because it doesn't really take much. The only problem is it's really small to take like that, but the problem is I've got a cone, so I'm not sure, I can't take that. I could wind it off, I suppose. I don't know how much I'd need. Yeah. So if you know, the other one was something like a Kyla shawl, or something that's lace weight or mohair, or given we'll be in the UK and parts of Europe. We're going to Turkey for 9 days on a tour, not anywhere near affected areas, but we're going to another part of Turkey. We're going on a tour. First time I've ever been on a tour. But anyway, we're going to have a go, 9 days, and so lots of bus time. So there'll be lots of bus knitting. So I need to make sure that I have some stuff that I can do, and maybe it's just a series of 6 or 7 hats. I don't know, 1 hat a week. I really don't know. So if you've got any ideas, what's your ideal travel knitting? Fits into a small space, vacuum packed, or down in plastic Ziploc bags. I'll bring some yarn back with me. So I'd like to get some more knitting for Olive. I'd like to get some more Mantelope, more Gilead. That's really the fundamentals of what I love. So I've really started to nail down what I like wearing. So, all right. Well, I've done it. I've managed it. It's been an hour too. How crazy is that? So I'm going to there's a bit of, there's a lot of life been happening. So I've taken lots of video along the way. I'll only put a little bit of it here. I might put a little bit more of it in in the Home Alone vlog if I get to do that. But we did have, actually you can just see it, I think. I'll bring you over. This is the view out my window, and if you see just up there is our first snow. So it's been the most amazing summer here. We haven't been here for much of it, but it's been the most amazing summer. They've had almost no rain, which is not great for a lot of other reasons, but it's been a very dry, warm summer. And yeah, first snows. That's a bit scary. I don't think I can, no, I can't zoom, but I love watching this lake. So this lake just has so many hues of blue. It goes grey blue, steel blue, green blue, teal, baby blue. It's fantastic. Just, I'm so lucky. I'm so privileged to be where I am. So, well, thank you for joining me, and thank you for bearing with me through my anxiety. And all the links are below. Once again, say hi to me on YouTube. If you like it, hit the little thumbs up button. If you tap the screen and go down, you can see it normally. The description's down there as well. Also, if you want to get notified of when I'm on, you can hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell, and the little bell will just give you a notification to say I've popped something up. So I'm going to try and do it a bit more regularly, because otherwise I just don't do it and I get a bit paralyzed. So we'll see how we go. All right, have a great day, people, and keep knitting. Enjoy your knitting and your crafting. See ya. welcome. Start again. So nervous.